We're starting our lesson today out in the big pasture. And here's the reason why. Finally, we have a sunny day. We've got no rain predicted and sun only predicted for the rest of the week. We know that spring is sprung, and we expect the heat of the summer to start becoming a problem in the late afternoon. So we're trying to do our routine lesson times at noon. Well, it so happens that the boys are out in the big pasture. My alpaca boys. I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Alpaca Girl. Now for some 40 years I bred, raised, and trained Morgan horses, and I trained them to wear halters, and I trained them to let me halter them wherever they were. But the alpacas haven't been trained to do that. They let us halter them if they're in our small training arena. Well, we've got to start working on haltering them out here, if possible. I'm going to start watching some more YouTube videos about other alpaca people trying to halter their alpacas in large spaces. Now, from a distance, you're seeing I have 3 of my team members out there, and here's Coco, our team member, here with me, and the alpacas are saying, no, I'm not ready to go in. They're resisting. Michael has arm extensions. Tavis has arm extensions. I've asked Michael to bring the halters. I think he has them, but we can't get anywhere near the boys to halter them. You see what they're doing. They're running around. Now, can they be directed to their gateway here? I think so. And I'm not sure if I can ever hope to be able to halter them out here in the big pasture. When they come out here, this is where they want to be. Now, our intention for our lesson today is to do with Alpha what we did with Beta on the most recent past lesson. Now, Alpha and Beta see me. I don't think they see Coco because she's in the high grasses, and the only reason the grasses are this high is because my flail mower on my Kubota has some broken parts, and we haven't received the replacement parts yet. Okay, you see, the boys know. They know where they're supposed to be. They were just resisting. They would have preferred to stay out in the big pasture. But okay, they're in school. Just like kids don't always want to go to school, but it used to be a serious problem if they didn't go to school. It was called truancy. Okay, and I have a helper here to help me get through these high grasses.
You want to go to the gate?
Yeah, we're going to go back through the gate. And I'm going to keep telling you what we're aiming to do, what we have to plan to do in the future to get to our objective behavior that we're trying to get. Okay. Okay, you see, the boys knew it. They're going right into their training session, the small corral. Okay, so Alma, you see, I got this grass cut, so I'm going to walk in the short grass. You go and help the boys. Okay. The idea is to get Alpha tacked up the way Beta was tacked up, and then we're going to use our simulated cart shafts behind Alpha, see if we can walk through the corridor and keep his hips straight. Yeah, and I'll be walking up this way. I finally, with a weed whacker, got it weed whacked. This time of year, it's almost May, is really critical to start cutting the weeds. And look what happened here, because my flail mower wasn't operational. I mean, this is shoulder high. But with the weed whacker, yesterday we were able to cut right here. Okay, so I'm going to be walking over to our training area, trying to give you insight from my point of view of what it's like to train my darling alpaca boys. It's very different in some respects than training all my beloved Morgan horses and mini cows. All those years in Santa Cruz when I produced the Urban Cowgirl Show. And I don't have enough team members today to have somebody on camera, so I'm carefully walking through these high grasses, trying to show you our progress in training the alpaca boys, and I can't always keep the camera focused on them when I'm walking through these high grasses and I can't see the ground. But okay, we have our objectives, we have our sub-objectives to get to the objectives. We'll try to show you on my Urban Alpaca Girl YouTube videos and on my website our progress. And I'll always be very clear on what behavior I am trying to deal with, trying to train, trying to get the boys to focus on. Now we're walking by the carts. Remember, we eventually want them to pull those carts. And we've got the white PVC U device to help train them to feel the pressure on their hips if they don't keep their bodies straight when we're trying to ground drive them and lead them, especially when we make turns into and out of this corridor that I set up as a training aid. Okay, we're doing Alpha. You see, he's not being good. He's usually much better. And I haven't ordered any tack yet that I think might eventually be a harness for the carts. But we're using tack that I've been able to assemble, and especially old horse tack that I have quite a bit of. And you know, when I had all my Morgan horses, I used to lift their legs every day to clean out their hooves. Alpacas have toes and toenails. You know, I haven't been teaching them how to lift their legs, and they're not good at it yet. But they do know, I am positive they do know, that when this team comes out here, that they have to abide by our requests. They'll resist, as you just saw them do, but they know ultimately where they're supposed to focus. Okay, and we have Michael today. I on purpose scheduled him so that he's here at noontime. So Alma, you're gonna get the white PVC and you're gonna go behind Alpha.
Not yet.
Soon, when we start walking the boys through this training corridor.
So he knows, like, we're teaching him forward, off, right, left, stop, whoa, back, going through the corridor.
Okay.
I'm trying to teach him the words, but I'll show you what we're going to do with Alpha.
Our focus, Michael, is going to be on going through the corridor behind you. It's going to be a place that they walk straight through, and then when they get to the end and they turn.
I'll show you. We're not going to do it without Beta, but we're going to do it without.
You know, we should put something like a wheel or something on there.
Michael made that U device for me. He said, should I glue it? And I said, no, not yet. We may want to make it more narrow.
But
So you want it narrower, skinny?
Not yet. We'll see. We had a little bit of trouble with Beta on our last filming. And we had a D with her baby on her back trying to follow behind Beta. And today we have Alma without a baby on her back, and she's going to try to follow. Just keep in mind to stay out of kick range, but I must suggest that a kick from an alpaca is not the same as a kick from a horse.
And I don't think they're trying to kick to hurt. I think they're
No, I know. Yeah, right. Michael said they're not trying to kick to hurt. I agree. They're just being reactive.
It's more like a kick down.
Yeah, I agree, but still I don't. Oh, okay. Now, okay. He now. See, I think we will have to glue it. Yeah.
So I can make it skinnier though.
Yeah, I think maybe we do, but let's see how it goes with Alpha today. Okay, now the drive lines touched him, and so he was reacting to that. Yeah, we need.
See, something got to be sturdy, so he can't. You know, like he actually. I think they should actually put him on the buggy. That's too wide. Yeah, that's way too wide.
It's way too wide. We're gonna make it narrower.
But we can walk right now.
Yeah, but go ahead and walk. And if he does go from one side to the other with his hips, use the device to tell him no, no kicking, no swinging hips, because we don't want him doing that kind of kicking and swinging hips when he's in the cart shafts. And remember, Alpha is our better trained alpaca, and Alpha and Beta are devoted to each other, brothers, so we try to always keep them in close view to each other.
Walk. Were we going to just let Beta walk?
Yeah, but you see, he's kicking out at the simulated shafts. We gotta make it so that he realizes that's the wrong answer.
Let's just let him walk, Michael. We were going to just let Beta walk.
Okay, I see what Tavis has done. Good, yeah, it's like they're hooked to the cart, only they aren't. Okay, but he's kicking out because he feels the pressure. Whenever we have a lesson, we try to not be in a rush, but also we try to find our moment of resolution. And we try to learn from what we're doing so that the next lesson shows improvement in outcome. Good, now he's looking all around, and at least he's walking straight now. Remember, our objective is to take the boys on cart rides out on the 20 lineal miles of trail around the rancho's properties, including around mine, where no motor vehicles are allowed. And then we're going to have events here where we can invite people to come to our cart rides and our trail walks with their animals and their children and their friends, asking for donations to help us deal with the education and well-being of our alpaca boys. Eventually.
I found his spot.
Okay, yeah. Okay, he was giving a little bit of a, yeah, behind his ears.
You like that?
That's good. We've come closer to simulating a cart shaft. You see, the shafts are connected. We don't want the boys kicking out or getting a leg stuck on one side of a shaft.
Forward. Coco, move.
And Coco loves being at our lessons.
Until she gets sick with the devil
See, he's thinking about kicking out on his left hip, but he put his leg down this time.
Sharp right. It was a little different.
Repetition. They'll understand eventually, I think, and we'll keep showing you whether what I'm saying is right. That was a good idea, Tavis, to put that device as if it were connected to a cart. But if we get into trouble, you can move it out of the way. I have seen YouTube videos where goats and llamas, and one that I found where alpacas were driving on a cart, pulling a cart on a road where there actually could be motor vehicles. But I haven't seen any preliminary videos that show me how those livestock owners trained their animals to do that. Alpha is looking way beyond our training area here. They're always looking to see what's around because they are prey animals, in my opinion, more so than horses and cows. See how he's looking off to the back pastures, but he's walking straight away. And I'm going to leave it up to Alma and Tavis to decide when we've met our moment of resolution for today's lesson.
All right, we're going to head in.
Okay, we kind of think it's happening right now.
All right, come on.
We won't stop on a bad note. We'll only stop on good notes. We're putting them back into the small training area. And then we'll put the training device, the U shavs, I'll call it U shavs, PVC training device, out of their way. We'll close the portable panel and we'll start taking tack off. Now, Alpha's pretty good about tack removal, but let me see if we can confirm that today. And Beta's just standing there, happy with Michael, but close enough so that they can see each other. Alma is rubbing Alpha's neck, which I think he's enjoying. We're taking off our simulated harness device. Several of my shows prior to this one show you how we got the boys to allow us to assemble it on their backs, under their bellies, lift their legs.
You want me to take him off?
Yeah, if you can take the, remember, Beta gives you trouble with the halter, so if you want to wait until Alpha's tack is off, we'll put Beta in the small area. We'll see, because I want it so that my boys realize that when I come toward them with a piece of tack, they're supposed to stand there and let me put it on. They just are not sure that they have to do that yet. And with repetition, I want to convince them that that's their job. And they kind of now know, because of repetition, that they're done with their lesson. So you saw us bring them from the big pasture. The gate is still open to the big pasture. It's a beautiful sunny spring day. I'm pretty sure they're going to be spending a few more hours out there. And we're going to keep trying to meet around noon. Because we know that when summer comes, the early afternoon is going to get really hot. And we'd rather have our better weather for our training sessions. Now we're putting all the tack away, and I'm going to close the camera, and my assistant Alma will upload this video, and I'll make it available by the end of the day to YouTube viewers and to anybody who wants to go to my website, shadrackfarms.com. And for your information, Shadrack was my beloved stallion, Morgan Stallion, my first horse that I bought when I lived in San Mateo County, town of Woodside. And I bought him at 3 years old from Bob Morgan, who was a Morgan breeder in the Gilroy area. And I enjoyed every single day of the 30 years that he was with me. And then in Santa Cruz, at my Santa Cruz ranch, he did pass away without any diagnosis of why. But in his memory, I do everything in his name, Shadrack Triton Jimcrack, who was a Morgan registered stallion, and I bred him many times and produced offspring that were always wonderful animals. And unfortunately, they have died as well. So I'm at 80 years old working with my alpacas, and I do like to process their fleece. I do like to knit, and I do very much enjoy giving my livestock happiness. That's all for today. Sonia Sokolow. You can make comments on this video, or you can email me directly, sonyasokolow@gmail.com. SONYASOKOLOW@gmail.com.